the Railways Club. You're focusing on the ongoing nurses strike. The latest that you need to know is that the Council of Governors is now threatening legal action against striking nurses. They have now declared the ongoing nurses strike as unprotected. Remember, the governors have also threatened legal action against the union should nurses fail to resume work. There has been a back and forth on this, and a seemingly split opinion on whether or not nurses should be on strike. Allow me to bring in my colleague Timothy Otieno from Railways Club. Timothy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Linda.
Timothy, what's going on where you are with respect to the nurses strike?
Well, Linda, this nurses strike, miasma, is becoming more complicated by the day. You do mention that the Council of Governors has already issued threats to the union officials to end the strike, and there's been blame game right, left, and center. The recent one was the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Cleopa Mailu, distancing the national government from the ongoing industrial action, saying that it was the onus of the county governments to end the stalemate. Now, where we are here at the Railways Club, if I could call it, besieged chairman of the Kenya National Union of Nurses is shortly going to be making a statement. He has just walked past us a few minutes ago. And what is interesting is that the Nurses Union within itself has a parallel press conference from this one being held here at the Railways Club. Now, the other press conference, set to begin at around 11 this morning, will be hosted by the Secretary General of the Kenya National Union of Nurses, Seth Panyako. Now, remember, Panyako and John B., the chairman of the National Union of Nurses, have been at loggerheads for the longest time. John B., apparently, the National Executive Council had bundled him out of office. John B. went to court to seek stay orders. He was, of course, reinstated by the courts pending a hearing of that case. And when the strike began last week on Monday, John B. was quickly responded by saying that the strike is illegal, it's unprotected, it's unsafe, and urged the nurses to go back to work. Now, we are yet to find out what he's going to be making, the statement he's going to be making here today, but it will most likely go a long way in fueling that animosity between the two, considering that just a few minutes after this press conference, Seth Panyako will have his own press conference as to whether the strike is ongoing or not, and creating a lot of confusion to an already unfortunate situation, Linda.
Yeah, it's weird because on one hand you have John B saying this strike is unprotected, it's illegal. On the other hand, you have Panyako also calling his own presser later on in the evening. We've seen a lot of back and forth, team. Like I mentioned, the Council of Governors now is threatening legal action. Nurses have refused basically to go back to work. But this division, do you think probably we are likely to see an end to this anytime soon?
Not if the grandstanding by those who are involved in this crisis is going to go on any further, because the nurses insist nothing will get them off the streets and back to work other than the signing, registration of that collective bargaining agreement. The governors, on the other hand, say that this collective bargaining agreement is too expensive. It cannot be sustained by the county governments. The Ministry of Labour that sought to arbitrate in the matter last week met the two sides separately. They were to meet jointly. That meeting, for one reason or another, never took place. And right now you're seeing the Council of Governors threaten the Nurses Union with legal action. And as late as last evening, the officials of the Kenya National Union of Nurses, particularly from the Secretary General, they were saying that some nurses have been intimidated, issued with show cause letters as to why they are not on duty. So the grandstanding between the National Union of Nurses, the Council of Governors, the Ministry of Health that has seemingly distanced itself from the matter, if this continues, we are not likely to see an end to the crisis. Today is its 12th day. And Linda, there are casualties. This strike is coming at a cost. Lives have been lost, and Kenyans are hoping that something will be done soon enough.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate bit about it. Team, we've covered a lot of stories from different hospitals across the country with patients suffering, even as the nurses continue with the strike. Team, before I let you go, so you have Panyako on one hand and you have John B on the other hand. So who is who? I mean, these nurses, who exactly are they supposed to listen to between these two?
Well, from the observation, it's these two sides. John B., as it is right now, he appears to be speaking on his own. He's isolated because even this particular press conference, he just walked in. He was basically alone. He was not flanked by any of the other officials. Now, the other side, Seth Panyako's side, and Seth Panyako is not in the country. Before he came back, the other side was being led by Maurice Opet, who is the Deputy Secretary General, and he was being backed by members of the National Executive Council for the Nurses Union, who they say they do not recognize that court reinstating John B. According to them, John B. is a foreigner, and any statement he makes, he does not make it on behalf of the union. So as it is, it appears right now it's John B. versus the National Executive Council of the Nurses Union. And John B. says he is still chairman until the courts say otherwise. So as it is, the stalemate continues. We wait to hear what he'll say today. Most likely the press conference by Seth Panyako, you will likely see all the members backing the Secretary General. For this particular press conference, you're most likely to see John B. speak alone. So you can read a lot from that, Linda.
Tim, let's wait and see how this goes. Let's wait and listen to what Panyako will have to say. That is a standoff that has been with us for the last 2 weeks. There is a different standoff that has been playing itself out since that conference that was held at KICC here in Nairobi, with NASA flag bearer Raila Odinga raising serious concerns on the ballot printing tender. That is a conversation we'll also be having here. Oh, by the way, Tim, thank you very much. Allow me to release you. So we'll be having a